Celsius, as you may know, is one of the biggest actors in the crypto lending industry, offering rates as low as 1% for collateralized loans. They're even working on bringing 0% interest loans in some areas. This crypto loan is probably lower than your mortgage. So how on earth is this possible? How can you buy in? And what are the catches? In this video, I'll explain how a Celsius loan works, how to apply for it, and in what situations it might be beneficial. Before we start though, I just want to be very clear with the fact that I am not a financial advisor and nothing I say should be considered financial advice. Trade crypto at your own risk and do your own research. That being said, let's get into the first point of this video. How does a Celsius loan work? As I mentioned earlier, the Celsius loan is collateralized, meaning you borrow money against your crypto assets. In other words, you let Celsius lock up some of your crypto. They give you a loan, and when you pay the loan back, you get your crypto back. The same way, if you fail to pay back your loan, Celsius can simply take your crypto to pay it off. It's all in a similar fashion to how your bank takes your house as security when you apply for a mortgage loan. The low interest rate mainly stems from this collateral. Celsius can feel pretty confident that they will profit and get their money back from this loan. But it's also part of Celsius' overall business model, which is giving 80% of their profits back to the platform's users. So how do you apply for a Celsius loan? Well, before we get into the actual instructions, there are two concepts that you need to understand about collateralized loans. These are LTV, or loan to value, and margin calls. LTV is basically a percentage which shows how many dollars you provide in collateral for each dollar borrowed. With a 50% LTV, I can borrow 50% the value of my collateral. So for each dollar I want to borrow, I will have to lock up $2. With 33% LTV, I'm providing $3 for every $1, 25%, $4, and so on. The more collateral, the lower the LTV. So what's the point in having a low LTV? Well, the lower your LTV is, the less risk you stand of getting liquidated. Imagine you borrowed $1,000 with $2,000 of Bitcoin in collateral. Well, now imagine the Bitcoin price crashes by 50%. Your collateral is suddenly only worth $1,000 and Celsius will have to sell your Bitcoin to make sure they get their money back. They force a liquidation of your asset. Luckily, Celsius will warn you if this is about to happen through a margin call. A margin call is basically Celsius telling you that the price of Bitcoin has dropped and you now need to deposit more Bitcoin so they don't have to sell the ones you've locked up. If you fail to do so, they will sell part of your Bitcoin to cover the loan. Having a lower LTV simply reduces the risk of this happening. If you provide $4,000 in collateral for a $1,000 loan, the value would need to drop by a whole 75% for Celsius to sell your crypto, which is far more unlikely than 50%. The reduced risk and increased amount of locked up crypto also means that Celsius can offer a lower interest rate the lower your LTV is, which we'll get into in a few moments. Now, on to the actual tutorial. The first step is obviously to set up a Celsius account and deposit some crypto that can be used as collateral. Once you have crypto in the app, you head over to the menu, press borrow, and apply for a loan. Here, you will get to choose if you want to borrow dollars or stablecoins. Dollars are deposited directly to your bank account, while stablecoins will be sent to your Celsius wallet, from where you can send it somewhere else. Next, you enter the amount of US dollars you'd like to loan, and if in stablecoins, you choose which stablecoin you want it to be paid out in. I'll go with USDC for this example. Next up, you choose which crypto you'd like to use as collateral. I'll go with Bitcoin. And now comes the interesting part, the loan to value, how much crypto you lock up for each dollar you borrow. As you can see, the lower the LTV, the lower the interest. I'll pick the lowest and safest 25%. After that, you'll have to choose when you want to pay the loan back. Obviously, the longer you take, the more interest you will have to pay in total, but the overall cost is quite transparent. Finally, you will get a summary of your loan, where you will also be able to see at which price you will be issued a margin call and at which price your collateral will be liquidated. So if the Bitcoin price hits this number right here, I would be forced to either send more Bitcoin to my Celsius wallet or else they would sell my collateral. Now you just simply hit confirm, and if your application is approved, the stablecoins will arrive in your wallet within 24 hours. So that was simple enough, but when should you take a Celsius loan? When can it be beneficial compared to other loans? Well, as with all loans, I think it's always best to use common sense. it's never good to put yourself in debt unless you absolutely need to. That being said, if you for example get in a situation where you urgently need cash, Celsius can be a good way to turn your assets into money without having to sell them. So you get your cash and you won't miss out on potential gains since you never sold your crypto. This is for example how Elon Musk and Warren Buffett can have so much cash on hand without selling a single piece of stock. They put their stocks as collateral and get low interest loans in exchange. Another way Celsius loans can be used is for diversification. Let's say your portfolio is really heavy in Bitcoin and you'd like to spread out the risk without selling a significant portion off. You could then put your Bitcoin as collateral and get a loan that you can use to buy other cryptos or invest in other spaces, such as stocks or ETFs. Anyways guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you haven't signed up for Celsius already, you can use my code in the description for a $50 bonus on your first deposit of $400 or more. But that's completely optional. Thank you so much for watching and have a good one.